Stop being so damn nice. Sounds crazy, right? Everyone tells you to be kind, to smile, to help out. It's practically etched into our DNA. But what if that niceness is actually a ticking time bomb? What if it's not a virtue, but a subtle, almost invisible psychological switch that turns your greatest strength into your biggest vulnerability? Because there's a specific trap out there lying in wait, and it preys exclusively on people just like you. You know the feeling. You're the one who always says yes, always lends an ear, always picks up the slack. You're the one who goes the extra mile, who takes on tasks no one else wants, who smooths over conflict. And who ends up feeling like a human doormat? Who's left resentful, drained, and wondering why they always feel like they're giving 110% for 0% in return? Yeah, you. We've all been there, standing in the emotional rubble, scratching our heads. This isn't about becoming a jerk. This is about understanding the raw, sometimes hilarious, but always unsettling truth of why some people weaponize your good intentions against you. It's about disarming a trap you didn't even know existed. Here's the first bitter pill. Most people aren't actually looking for nice. They're looking for utility. And when you're too nice, you become incredibly useful. You become the go-to person for inconvenient favors, the emotional dumpster for other people's problems, the human shield in every conflict. You're not appreciated. You're leveraged. Your kindness isn't a gift. It's an expectation they've subtly engineered. Think about it. When you make yourself endlessly available, constantly agreeable, and perpetually pleasing, what signal are you sending? You're essentially putting up a neon sign that flashes, "Empty my tanks. I'm open for business." And guess who shows up? Not the people who truly respect you, but the opportunists, the takers, the emotional vampires who see your generous spirit and think, buffet. This isn't some abstract theory. This is the good guy trap in action. It's the psychological pressure to maintain a nice persona, even when it's actively harming you. You fear conflict, so you avoid it. You fear rejection, so you say yes. You're so busy trying to be liked by everyone that you forget to like yourself. And the irony? By trying to please everyone, you end up truly pleasing no one, especially not the person staring back at you in the mirror. So, how does this trap actually work? It starts small. A tiny request, a little favor, and because you're nice, you say yes. Then another, and another. Each yes chips away at your boundaries, slowly, almost imperceptibly, until your boundaries are less like a fence and more like a suggestion scribbled on a napkin. You've become accustomed to giving, and they've become accustomed to taking. It's called normative social influence. You've established a pattern of behavior, and breaking it feels like a betrayal, even when it's a betrayal of yourself. And here's a high dopamine insight for you. You're not actually being nice to people when you constantly enable their bad behavior or let them walk all over you. You're just being a compliant participant in their dysfunction. You're not helping, you're hindering. True kindness sometimes means setting a boundary, saying a firm no, or letting someone experience the natural consequences of their own actions, which brings us to the insidious power of the no. For someone who's too nice, the word no feels like a foreign language, a punch in the gut, a betrayal of their very being. But here's the secret. No isn't a dirty word. It's a complete sentence. It's a declaration of self-respect. It's a boundary marker. And when you finally manage to utter it, two things happen. First, you feel a wave of intense guilt. This is normal. It's the breaking of that ingrained pattern. Second, you'll notice who respects that no and who tries to bulldoze it. And that tells you everything you need to know about who deserves your precious energy. Because when you say yes to everyone else, you are by definition saying no to yourself. You're saying no to your energy, your time, your peace of mind. You're effectively putting your own needs on layaway, hoping someday, somehow, someone else will come along and validate your self-sacrifice. Spoiler alert, they rarely do.
And if they do, it's usually after you've already hit rock bottom. This constant self-sacrifice has a massive internal cost. It brews resentment like a cheap coffee maker, bitter, scalding, and impossible to get rid of. It leads to burnout, anxiety, and a profound sense of exhaustion. You start to lose your sense of self because your identity becomes so entangled with being helpful or being liked. You become a human chameleon, constantly changing your colors to match the expectations of others until you forget what your true color even is. And that, my friend, is a recipe for an emotional disaster. You might be thinking, but I want to be helpful. I want to be a good person. And that's fantastic. Genuine compassion is a superpower. The problem isn't kindness itself, it's pathological altruism. It's the kind of niceness that sacrifices your well-being, your values, and your self-respect on the altar of someone else's convenience. It's not sustainable, and ironically, it makes you less capable of truly helping anyone in the long run. Because you're empty. You can't pour from an empty cup, unless you're a cartoon character, and even then, it's usually just a visual gag. So, how do we reclaim our kindness without becoming a misanthrope who glares at puppies? It starts with wise compassion. It's about being kind effectively, not just reflexively. It's about discernment. It's about understanding that your energy, your time, and your emotional reserves are finite resources. And like any finite resource, they need to be managed, protected, and invested wisely. Here are some quick-fire strategies. 1. Pause before you respond. When asked for something, don't auto-say yes. Say, let me check my schedule and get back to you. This buys you time to consider if you can and want to do it, and if it aligns with your priorities. 2. Understand that setting a boundary is not an act of aggression. It's an act of self-care. It's like putting up a velvet rope at the VIP section of your life. Not everyone gets in, and that's okay. 3. Embrace the power of the partial yes. I can't do X, but I can help with Y. Or, I can't commit to that, but have you considered Z? You're still helpful, but on your terms. You're being constructive, not simply compliant. This isn't about becoming selfish. It's about becoming self-aware. It's about recognizing that you deserve the same kindness you so freely give to others. It's about understanding that true generosity comes from a place of abundance, not depletion. You are not a bottomless well of resources, and anyone who treats you like one isn't truly appreciative of your kindness. They're just thirsty. Remember that psychological switch, that subtle trap I mentioned at the beginning? The one that turns your kindness into a weapon against you? It's called the good intentions gambit. It's where your intrinsic desire to be helpful, to avoid conflict, and to be liked is systematically exploited by those who recognize it as a weakness. You keep making small concessions, small sacrifices, until you've given away chunks of yourself, all under the guise of being nice. You end up resentful, burnt out, and paradoxically, less effective at true kindness because you're empty. But here's the secret, the real payoff. True kindness isn't about giving until it hurts. It's about giving from a place of abundance, with clear boundaries and genuine discernment. It's about choosing who deserves your energy, not letting others demand it. It's about being kind to yourself first, so you actually have something left to give to the people who truly matter. So, I have to ask, do you think being too nice is something you've struggled with? Or have you seen others fall into this good intentions gambit? Let me know in the comments below. And if you learned something new about protecting your good heart, hit like and subscribe for more insights into the messy, hilarious, and often surprising world of human psychology.